Every animal is born with instincts, patterns of behavior, written by nature itself. But humans, we're the only species whose behavior is written by others. From the moment we're born, we are surrounded by teachers, not of knowledge, but of identity. Before we can even speak, we are told what race we belong to, what God we must pray to, what culture we must defend, and what kind of person we are supposed to become. We inherit our beliefs, like hand-me-down clothes, passed from one generation to the next, without question. And as we grow, these beliefs become our compass, even if they were never truly ours to begin with. If you were born in one country, you might grow up believing your nation is the best. If you were born in another, you might grow up believing the same about theirs. Two children, born on opposite sides of the world, both convinced they are right, not because of truth, but because of programming. And so, humanity divides itself over lines it drew in the sand. Race, religion, politics, gender, culture. Endless categories designed not by evolution, but by narrative. Each side believes they are free thinkers, yet both are repeating what they were told to believe. This is the tragedy of the programmed mind, a mind that fights for the illusion of freedom while living in chains of ideology. Throughout history, leaders have risen, some seeking to solve the problems of society, and others creating problems to prove their own importance. For every voice that unites, there are 10 that divide, because division is profitable. A divided society is easier to control, easier to manipulate, easier to rule. Take modern media, for example. Two people can watch the same event, but depending on which channel they trust, they'll walk away believing completely different realities, each convinced that they are the ones seeing the truth. That is not free thinking. That is programming, personalized. We are taught what to think, not how to think. Our schools, our families, even our social feeds reinforce what we already believe, trapping us in echo chambers of comfort. And when someone challenges that comfort, we call them wrong, or worse, evil. But evil isn't always a person. Sometimes, evil is the ignorance that spreads when thinking stops. Yet, not all minds remain asleep. There are always a few, the ones who stop, question, and listen. They are not guided by what they've been told, but by what they've learned through experience, curiosity, and empathy. These are the minds that evolve, the ones that rise above the noise of us versus them, the ones who understand that the truth is rarely found in shouting, but in silence, reflection, and reason. In a world where race, religion, and culture collide, the moment you choose to represent what you've been told, someone else will rise to represent what they've been told. And from that clash comes chaos, hate, pain, suffering. The uprising of evil, not supernatural, but social. But remember, every system, every program, every narrative only works if we keep believing in it blindly. You are born with a mind that can question, reason, and grow. That is your greatest gift, your true freedom. Don't waste it living someone else's version of truth. Learn, question. Understand, because the moment you start thinking for yourself, the program loses control.